So this morning I'm over at Harwich, and just to remember for the future, there's a Napoleonic weekend at the Beacon Hill Fort, 17th 18th August 24. And that way is looking over to Shotley Gate, Suffolk. In between the, look on the map, it looks a bit like a bird's beak. You've got the Shotley Gate in the middle, it's a bit like a tongue, and then the beak is Harwich and Felixstowe. .120mm mobile anti-tank gun, range 1500 yards, made in 1960. I believe this is what they used to call a wombat. That's really deceiving. That made quite a good angle actually. And just over there you can see Felixstowe docks, or port of Felixstowe should I say. Quite good really. You've got the Union flag over that way. It's only called a Union Jack when it's on a ship. And then on the other end you've got the St George flag with the Harwich redoubt fort flag next to it. That's a good angle. What's this? A £2 quick firing pedestal for a £2 anti-aircraft gun. Really quiet for a bank holiday, but I suppose it's got to be to do with the weather. I'm sure I used to date a girl who lived in one of these houses about 12 years ago, because I remember being able to see the ships from her place. So here I am again. The Gilbert gun, named in memory of Roger Gilbert. First discovered in a moat on Roger's first day with the group in 1969.
Come here, baby.
Devious stairs. You can see why she warned me not to walk on here. It's quite tempting. And that's looking towards the old part of the town. Back over to Shotley Gate, over that way. And then Felixstowe Port. And they've named all these places now, all the doorways, all the rooms. So have a look in the library.
That one is called TSS.
Conscientious objectors of the First World War. In April 1916, Harry Stanton, a 21-year-old clerk in the hat trade, arrived at Langford Fort in Felixstowe, where the army hoped to turn him into a soldier. When ordered to put on his uniform, he refused, and eventually a corporal had to dress him. "It's the first time you've been waited on since you were a baby, and it'll be the last," said the disgusted corporal. Stanton was one of the first conscientious objectors when Britain had gone to war in 1914. Well, 100 years on, good on him. Takes a lot of balls to say no. He was obviously someone who could see it for what it all was, because the vast majority of them who fought, it was either a complete waste of time or they regret it in the long run. So it takes a lot of courage to say no and not just be an NPC and go along with it. As people have found out in recent years about a certain procedure. That's quite interesting. So, but 1916, the insatiable appetite of the army and the increasing reluctance to volunteer meant that the Liberal government, bear in mind what the Conservative Party really is, and obviously with Labour coming in, they were forced to introduce conscription. Sounds quite familiar to what came out yesterday with Rishi Sunak. Oy vey. Dunno. For anyone who's seen the Great Story Never Told, there's a very different narrative to that war, and I personally believe in that narrative and the one the All Eyes have spun for the last 80 odd years. We've only ever heard one narrative, haven't we? And considering you can go on YouTube now and find that demographic openly calling for the complete destruction of Europeans, well, even if it did happen, what apparently the man with the moustache did, probably getting to them first before they did it to us, because they're certainly doing everything they can with their media to promote us breeding ourselves out of existence, and you know, for control of banks, for control of media, control of government. So that's why everything's so wrong at the minute. One for the Royal Marines. Per mare, per terram, by land, by sea. But I think it was actually a Jew that said it himself. Was it Trotsky? Or what's his name, Lenin? You know, the communists, you know, capture the minds of the youth and you can transform society.
Good day, old timer.
Morning. Not so much like cheek. Why, there ain't I seen my face before.
Just been sent here.
Where are they from then?
Just up from Tilbury Fort.
Sounds like that.
Only recently, obviously, we just had spring, and now we're just coming up to summer. Always find summer quite an ironic season, because as soon as you hit June 21st, you can start seeing the leaves starting to change, and the clocks start going back. You know, we have less daylight on the first day of summer. It doesn't really affect you till September, really, or late August. But just looking here, you've got all these conkers in the earlier stages. So starting to get ready to reproduce for the autumn already. Just an endless cycle, isn't it? It's what's impressive is it's not like we think, you know, like we pre-plan things, premeditate things. This is just a natural cycle that's living and on autopilot all year round.